one hand, I had a business that was thriving, that was doing really well, that was paying the bills, and it was actually paying for it. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I actually bootstrapped Esticom. Like, we never
Hmm.
raised money. We didn't go out and get venture capitalists to give us a bunch of money to go set it on fire. We actually decided intentionally we wanted to bootstrap this thing. And so it was kind of nice because I had this contracting business. I was actually able to use it almost as like a testing ground, right? So like we would build a new feature, I would have my team that was estimating projects actually go test it out and make sure that what we were building was working, and then they were constantly giving me feedback. And then so as we got the product to market, we'd already had it in front of construction contractors for a year or two at this point. Like, it was really solid, it worked really well, and so there was very quick adoption to it. It wasn't this kind of typical MVP path that you see a lot of folks take. We had a fully fleshed out product by the time we really got to market with it. And so as customers started signing up and going to it, it was still kind of a losing proposition of money wise, right? It wasn't making money like the contracting business. So it was tough to be like, hey, I'm going to move my attention off of what the golden goose over here, what's paying the bills and paying for this. I'm going to go focus on that. But, luckily I had some really good management and leadership within the contracting business. They stepped up to the plate. They were able to keep the business running, not only running, but growing while I was focusing on Esticom. And then they actually approached me about buying the company, and they ended up buying the company, building it up even further. I think they doubled it in size in a year or two. And then they got bought by a company, a really big company out of Canada. And then that company actually got bought by Bosch, which is a big,
Jeez.
big $70 billion company. So kind of interesting story. Some of the guys that just worked for me bought the company, built it up, and then they made a really good outlay, or a really good exit, I should say. Just a year or so later, and then I was off, 100% focused on Escom at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's so awesome because we don't tell the entrepreneurial story and the wins enough. And
Yeah,
if you're focused and can start something from the ground up and kind of hold on, you can really, you win and make money. And that's, I mean, in the end, that's kind of what we're here for. I know in construction, we hate to talk about the fact that any of us are here to make money. We're all supposed to be here because we love the industry. Guess what? We love the industry, but we need fuel, and cash is fuel. Money's king.
that's
So talk a little bit about, so you moved on to Esticom. You're 100% involved, and Esticom has a really cool story as to where it went.
Yeah. So, at this point, I think it was 2019 or so. We probably had 1,500, 2,000 customers. We had a really good customer base. We're adding functionality, really getting our stride with the market. And, I was thinking that I was going to be on this path for another like 5 to 10 years of just continually improving the product, continually going out and chasing additional market share. And Procore came knocking. We were partners with Procore at the time. We had had a lot of success on their app marketplace with an integration that we had built, and it became an interest for them for their pre-construction strategy to have a takeoff and estimating application that was very very tightly integrated into the rest of their platform. And so we chatted and talked over a pretty extended amount of time, probably a year or so, maybe a year and a half. And keep in mind, at this time, this was 2020, so I think COVID had kind of happened, so that came in. People were a little bit unsure of what was going to happen in the industry. We weren't sure, like, wow, is construction, is it going to be as busy, or we're going to see like a big shutdown? We never really saw that. I actually saw our business actually increase significantly, signups increase significantly. I think one of the things that really was advantageous for us is that when COVID happened, the cloud became much more important because people couldn't work from the office. So if you're using one of these older products that was like on-prem, and you no longer can't connect to the server, or you can't collaborate with your coworkers, cloud became much more important. And so that really helped our business. And again, being in the right place at the right time, I feel like I got lucky there more than anything, but that helped out quite a bit. And then we ended up getting acquired by Procore. And I spent from 2020 until about this time last year at Procore, right at about 3 years.